so I started .com in 99, raised about $4 million in venture capital. We had a staff of 40 people, and it was awesome on the way up. And then the .com bubble burst, September 11th hit, and everything just kind of imploded. And I ended up laying off my friends, and it was ugly. And so I look back at that going, that was one of the most intense, stressful periods of my life. And then you go forward to that office, that Keller Williams office I ran, and that was in, gosh, I want to say 2008, 2009. So they had ramped up during the heyday of 03, 04, 05 and taken all this lease space, and it kind of overextended themselves financially when the market tanked. So had they not done that, and I understand why they did it, and had they not done it, that office would still be here today. And so I jumped in because I said, hey, if that office fails, that's going to impact all the other franchises around us in the Sacramento area. So I wanted to jump in. And so I jumped in, and there was essentially it was me and our accountant, our controller, right? The person that did the finances. We didn't have somebody to answer the phones at the front desk. Guess who was signing for packages every single day? This guy. Right? We had 125 agents. And so we moved from space to space, moving phone systems on a push cart, $70,000 phone system on a push cart. Not the smartest thing, but when you have no money, you got to figure stuff out. And so here's what I'll tell you on that. So that it didn't have initially a happy ending. We ended up shutting that office down. And so here's the thing to think about. One, we ended up shutting the office down, and this is about, building a culture and raving fans and all that kind of stuff. Out of 125 agents that were a part of that office, 122 of them went to another Keller Williams office. They did not leave KW and go to a competitor. So that's the piece that I hang my hat on. The other thing that I look at is, I don't think there was anybody else that was as uniquely qualified to be in that position at that time in our area besides me, because of that .com up and down. Weathering that storm in the .com world prepared me to navigate this new storm of the real estate crash. And because I did that, so this is that right there, when the office has no receptionist, no staff, you're answering the phones, you're signing for, packages arriving, you're trying to hold everything together. That's when most people would quit. They'd throw in the towel and say, this is too tough. Like in real estate, I'd say, I just want to go back and start selling houses because that's way easier than the stress I'm dealing with right now. And then you fast forward, because I did that, I went and took over another office. I turned that one around during the downturn. And because of being the guy that was in charge to wind this thing down smoothly and to go turn this other one around, that's why I got the opportunity to run that other Keller Williams office that we took to #1 in all of Keller Williams. So had I quit when times were tough, I never would have had this opportunity over here. And so I think that's a big thing that most people, I remember John Maxwell said, yeah, I can teach you how to do what I do, but are you willing to do what I've done? Right. So sometimes when the stuff gets really tough, we've got to figure out a way where there may not feel like there is a way. And it's when we get to the other side of that the true opportunity lies. I mean, we could use all these extreme examples like Elon Musk, right? He sold, I think it was PayPal, right? Sold PayPal off and then reinvested every single dime that he had back into his new company, and was sleeping on sold it for millions of dollars, and he's sleeping on his buddy's sofa because he reinvested every dime. So he was all in. Now that's an extreme scenario. Like, we like to look at the Elon Musk, the Mark Cubans, the Mark Zuckerbergs, and those are the outliers, right? People like you and I, we can build a big empire, and we have to persevere through some of these really challenging times to see the other side. And it builds our mental muscle on how to handle stress too.
Love it. So yeah, and absolutely 100%. I would say once you overcome these hard pressure situations, you're gonna be able to adapt, and it's gonna make you stronger. For someone who's not been in a position and they just get put into these tough times, they're gonna crumble and they're gonna just quit. So it's like diamonds. Diamonds are made under pressure, and I truly believe that 100%.
Well, you don't go to the gym and pick up the 50-pound dumbbell and start doing curls, right? Mm-hmm. You start with the 10s or the 12s, right? And you work your way up to, eventually someday doing 50s, right? And so the same thing is true with your business sense, your ability to manage stress and lead people. We don't all start at here. We've got to work our way up. And everything's relative too. I remember I was in my office one day and I was running multiple Keller Williams offices, and I got served with papers for a lawsuit for $1 million. Wow. My broker of record for all 5 offices turned in his resignation. and something else happened. This happened like within 10 minutes of each other. And one of my friends came into my office. I had a sofa in my office, and he just kind of walked in while I was on the phone talking to somebody. And he sat down on the sofa, and after I got off the phone, I walked over and I sat down next to him. I go, wow, what a day. And he goes, tell me about it. I've been negotiating those requests for repairs, and it's been a nightmare. I'm sitting there going, you knucklehead. I just got served with $1 million lawsuit. I got my broker of record just quit. I've got to go find somebody else, and something else crazy. I can't remember. Like, that's how, in the moment, it seems really stressful and really crazy. And now I can't remember the third one, right? But I'm sitting there going, this knucklehead, he thinks his request for repair negotiation is so stressful. And I just had this. And then I had to realize it's all relative, right? What's a 10 on a scale of 1 to 10 for him for stress, maybe a 5 to me, and it's still his 10. Right? So there's respect that we have to give in that. And there's a reason why I'm at a point where I have businesses and all this kind of stuff. It's because you go through that. The bigger challenges that you have, the stronger you're going to be. And the bigger business you have, frankly, the bigger challenges you're going to have.